So after my battery died on one of my previous videos, I'm not entirely sure everything I've recorded, but I have decided on the final layout of the circuit that I'm going to have. I may or may not be throwing in a second MOSFET. I've heard that can be a good idea, not entirely sure. Testing it on the breadboard, it wouldn't hurt, but it would just be an extra component, so I'm thinking I might not do that. Just go with the one MOSFET. I have decided to take out the fancy circuitry for controlling the fan based on the temperature set point and just have the fan be on all the time and try not to hit my fingers with it. And the reason that I've done that is because the MOSFET is just heating up so much and so rapidly that it's really kind of pointless to control the turn the fan on and off based on the temperature of the MOSFET, because even if you're just pushing a watt through that, or pushing 1 amp through that, is enough to get it pretty hot. So I've just taken off the all the stuff about the hysteresis and whatnot, and the only thing I have left in there for the fan is the Zener diode. Another reason that I decided not to have that is because for some reason, and I wasn't able to figure this out, when the fan kicks on, the amount of current being pulled by the dummy load drops by about 0.05 amps. So if you're pulling a test load of 0.35 amps and that fan kicks on, your test load current will drop to 0.3. And I'm not entirely sure what's responsible for that. The only thing that I can figure is that something is hitting the ground and going back through and messing up either the voltage going onto the MOSFET or the voltage going into the op amp. Because if the fan kicks on, it would cause a voltage drop in the regulated voltage off my linear regulator, and that would cause the high voltage, the VCC voltage on the op amp to drop, and then that would cause, of course, the load that I'm pulling to drop. So that can simply be avoided by having the fan on all the time, which means get rid of the fancy circuitry and just hook the fan straight up the power supply. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that everything here, the fan here, that's like 3 inches, so I should be able to get everything crammed into a box that's slightly larger than the fan in dimensions. So I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is create like a little cube and have everything in that, and then just kind of have that sitting on my bench. And as far as powering the circuit is concerned, it doesn't really use a whole lot, but I'm running it off 12 volts. So running it off 12 volts means I either got to put in 8, 1.5 volt batteries, or 2 9 volts, or I got to start, getting funny with the combinations, or blah blah blah. Screw that. I'm just gonna get a wall wart. This portion of the circuit, I mean, that's like less than an amp, so it's almost nothing. It's almost not even a quarter amp. So I figure if I just get a wall wart that'll push, a quarter amp, 13 volts or something like that, I'm set. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of shopping, see about getting a wall wart with a matching barrel jack, and then I'd like to get that set up. So what I'll eventually end up with, I'm thinking, is a little box about the size of the power supply for my soldering iron that I'll be able to use for dialing in my loads, and it'll have a little fan on it and everything it needs. So, until next time.